Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Unfold, where real voices reveal the real layers of change, identity, and impact. In our last episode of Unfold, we explored immigration through the expert lens of immigration consultant Mr. Mugaraj Bhandari from MDS Visa and Immigration Services. Today in Unfold, we are stepping into the lived experience of someone who left a full career behind in Nepal and is navigating the life of a student, a dreamer, and a woman who is rewriting her story in a new land. Please join me in welcoming Pushpa Lachimasiu to this episode of Unfold in our studio. In this episode titled Between Hope and Hesitation, The Immigrant's Truth. Welcome to our studio, Pushpa, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
So, like I said, last episode was about immigration, how the immigration rules operate, and what are the challenges and journey of an immigrant. We saw that from the lens of an expert, how an expert views the immigration industry and how they deal with the challenges of an immigrant. Now, today's episode, I want our viewers to look at the same experience of immigration through a new immigrant's lens. And you here are a new immigrant, right? So tell us a little bit about, how the journey of the immigration began for you. What was your why for coming to Canada?
Okay, so coming to Canada, it was not like overnight decisions or happen instantly, but it was like a thorough process. It was gradual. So I was like, I was doing what I was supposed to do, like doing my job, finishing my studies, and
regular, everyday, day-to-day life, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That was settled, everything. But something inside me kind of was nudging to take a leap, a huge leap that would take me to the new environment so that I can get the new challenges and so that I get the things that will push me to do something better that I have not expected for. So that's what led me here.
So that was your leap of faith, if we may call that, right?
Yeah.
So just to let our viewers know, Pushpa here is a BSc and MSc in microbiology, and she has been pursuing the course of PSW in a very renowned college here in GTA. So yes, now going back to your journey, was there any expectation before arriving? What was the expectation, and did Canada meet your expectation?
Actually, like for Canada, like majority of students, I believe few of them come with like precise like aim with calculations. Yeah, right? Exactly, blueprint. So I'm among those who is like, let's see what happens, but with some outlines given.
You kind of came with a blank canvas and your own colors.
Yeah, I had colors and a blank canvas, exactly. So the thing I had in my mind was cold winters and endless opportunities in Canada. So those were the things that I had. And also before coming here, I was mentally prepared that I will be facing the isolation that comes with coming in a new place all alone. Mm-hmm. So I'll be facing social, mental, psychological, and emotional, cultural challenges. Yes. Exactly.
Absolutely. So you mentioned cold winter. So I'm sure that is something Canada definitely would have met, right? Your expectations.
Exactly.
So now, because we're focusing on the immigration journey, would you like to tell us a little bit about, as an applicant, as an immigrant applicant, how do you think the system is designed? Are you well aware, given the whatever information is out there, put out there by government, put out there by consultants, or even people who have already immigrated, right? So the information that's available out there, is it enough? Like, were you clear about the steps ahead? How did you feel as an applicant?
So as an applicant, as I said, because I didn't come with a blueprint, and also I don't think everyone would know everything about what happens in Canada. Absolutely. And how does it work. So honestly, I was not as quite like clear as I was supposed to be, and going to the consultancy and work, I mean, getting help from them, it was more like a transactional process. So I felt like I was just another file on their table. So like I felt like there was lack of empathy and the personal connection that would have given me the opportunity or courage to ask more questions or know more about how would that be in Canada later on. So yeah. That's
so coming back to that, on what Pushpa said about it, and I would like to reconnect it to what we said in last episode about immigration. Mr. Mugaraj Bhandari very clearly laid out that immigration for them is a lot about ethics, the rules, and empathy. And that's exactly what Pushpa felt missing in the consultancy that she used. So we would like to draw attention of our viewers to this point, that there are consultancies available, there are service providers available, but we need to be aware and we need to educate ourselves to find the right help in the right time. So that was the consultancy part. But from the point of view of, say, how the government or how IRCC has laid out the process, I believe it is all out there in Canada's website. So do you think that website was any helpful, or how did you use that information that was available?
So I think that was helpful for me. So to start with, that was the authentic source that I could rely upon.
Absolutely.
So whatever was given, it was there. I mean, there's no any fabrication, no nothing there. So I will say yes, that did
Everything
work.
in black and white.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
No gray zone there.
Yes, yes.
That was-
So how long was your application and your wait time, if you remember?
Yeah, I do exactly, because because I got my visa decision on my birthday. That was
Oh, wow.
December 16, and I applied 58 days back. That was on October 18.
So is that usually or norm? Like, is that a good, would you call it a good time frame, or how is it usually?
Actually, like before I applied, it was like lesser than that.
Okay.
About 4 weeks, I guess.
Okay.
But that was the moment when the Canadian government decided to bring all the changes, started bringing the changes. So it took quite a long time for us.
Yeah, so 4 week to 58 week is quite a time.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
So how does that waiting period feel like to an applicant? How is that emotional journey, or that feeling?
So that was like, honestly, I felt like limbo, like kind of nowhere. Like I was trying to like get along with whatever I was doing back in Nepal, but I was also curious about what my decisions are gonna be. And every morning I used to wake up, I quickly go to my mobile, look at the email for the updates. So that was how my waiting period went. And also different questioning comes in between. The 58 days. First few days were like, okay, like that was
It's a normal wait time,
normal in
right?
time.
Yes.
But as the time passes, after 4 weeks, 5 weeks, I was like, did I make a correct decision, or did I, like, a lot of money is invested,
Yes,
right? So
absolutely.
did I do anything wrong? So these questions were there. That was how it went 58 days.
Yes. So I mean, I can only begin to imagine, how much of a journey it was in terms of both, emotional decision and also so much of uncertainty ahead, right?
Exactly.
So was there any time in that period where you felt like you would take a step back, or you doubted your decision?
I obviously did doubt my decision, but I never felt like I'll take back that certain step, because I took the step that I wanted to take.
It was your
That was
decision.
my decision. But obviously I doubted.
Okay. So you have worked with a consultant, and you did also tell us that a lot of time you felt like just another file, right? That's not a very good feeling, especially when you're investing your future in their hands, you're investing a lot of money in it. So have you, after you worked with the consultant, through your other peers or other students who have come in, have you heard of other consultants, or how do you view that consultancy industry in immigration now? Like, you did feel like a file, but eventually you did get it,
Yeah.
right? So there was some silver lining in your experience.
I would
so
say,
how do you view
I
that?
would say that's because they know what they are doing. They know the process. They know the logistics. They know the system. So that's what they are doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but right now, honestly, I don't have clear-cut ideas about what's the scenario right now. But as I can see in the social media, they are promoting how do they advertise is the visa success rate. So what that means is, like, they are showing transparency. What I want to say is, like, that's what they are doing, and they are being transparent to what
Transparent
they
about
are doing. So believe that. So
Yes.
if you want personal connection or empathy, as we talk about, then I'd say keep less hope in that. And
At the end of the day, it is a business for
it is a
them,
business,
right? Yes,
exactly.
yes. But yeah, and I think every success story is their success story too.
Yeah.
So I would like to believe that they would work towards it.
Yeah,
But the only
they
thing,
obviously
yeah,
they
but the only
help.
thing, very rightly you said that they need to be transparent, right? They need to have that real depth of knowledge about the rules, about how to do things by the book. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
So when you came to Canada, how was your first few months? Like, if you want to share the experience, even for anybody who's considering to come to Canada or who has just come, how does a first few months for an immigrant student, especially, look like in Canada?
So I'll say that was a lot of struggle, but with that there comes opportunity as well. So first few months I was struggling to even accommodate with the people around myself, like leaving the comfort zone that I had, leaving the care and love support that I had all alone by myself. And now I'm paying the rent. Now I'm doing the groceries, like
So
cooking.
now you actually know what goes into,
No,
right?
exactly.
Yes, yes.
So that was challenging, but I would like to say, even though those months are challenging, what comes after that, they're fruitful.
So probably those months prepare you for what's
Exactly.
ahead, right?
What's
So
ahead,
yes.
truly.
And I've also, I don't know how true this, I've also heard like there cannot be one answer to this question because Canada looks, or life in Canada looks completely different for somebody who comes here in summer and somebody who comes here in winter. So which of that are you?
So I came in winter.
Okay. So life became a little bit more harder. Do you say that? Would you say that?
Oh, sorry, my bad. I came in May. That was spring.
Okay.
So,
But still, as a new immigrant, even
yeah.
May feels like winter. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. It was like feet deep ice, and that was like something I had seen, but I not acknowledged experience. So.
Yes, yes. And like you said, leaving the comfort of home, leaving the, your
Love
people,
and support.
and preparing yourself for unknown. How much ever you prepare mentally, but when you actually have to do that, that is always very tough.
True.
So very proud of how far you have made, and I think you represent a lot of the student community out there.
Thank
So
you.
if I may ask you a little bit, like how difficult was finding job? Because that's a horror story we all kept listening to. I have heard many success stories too about how a student has gotten a job, but then more often than not, we hear the horror stories where students say that it's very difficult to get jobs. So how has your experience been, and also more than just your personal experience, how do you see that side of it?
So the job in Canada, as we all know, that's like it's difficult. I mean, like the saturation, as per my knowledge, the saturation level of the one working is high, and the one giving work is less.
So that you're saying the ratio is not balanced.
Not balanced.
Okay.
And hence, like they do have options, so many options. Like they don't want you particularly to do that particular job there.
So the supply is more than the demand.
Exactly, economics
yes.
words.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens. So it's difficult, yes, but if you keep on, like persist, doing, like showing the perseverance, I say you will get it. Like somewhere at least, like no matter a day's job or a 2 days job or 24 hours job or less than
Something
10,
to start
something to start with, you will get that. But the thing is, you should not stop at all.
So consistency is the key?
Yeah.
Okay. And showing up, right? Showing up, I
up.
think, is the key in almost everything in life. We need to get up and show up.
Yes, you are going to feel a lot of demotivation, a lot of like low days on while seeking the job. You are shown the hope, like, okay, come this day, maybe you'll get to meet him or her, the manager, this. Next day you go, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, like
He's not there.
He's not
And
there.
we don't need you probably,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
But from what you're saying, because I don't come from a generation or a person who faced all of that. So one, I would like to call myself privileged, but at the same time, I think this is building you for how the life is going to be tomorrow, because you're so already prepared for life's hardships, right? You have seen so much, faced so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is amazing to know this side of.
But I really hope I don't. I mean,
Things
I
change.
don't. Yeah, things change. Like, I really don't want, from my heart, many people to go through what I had to go. I mean, that's difficult. Like, that was very hard. You know, being, as I said, if you, even if you had been, I mean, back at home, I was working, I was studying. It was there. I was balancing both of these. But coming here, I'm doing the same thing, but it's completely different. Like, you know,
I think there's not one thing that you need to manage when you come as a student. Like you said, there are so many changes, cultural changes, social changes, you're leaving home. People around you don't look like, somebody who you can relate to.
Exactly.
And then on top of that, your studies, your college, getting a job, that's always there. I totally hear you. So, as I said earlier to our viewers, you are a BSc and MSc in microbiology, and you were already working as a professor, microbiologist, right? So that sounds like already like a dream for many, a settled dream, like probably a destination somebody wants to get to. You left all of that and chose to restart. How did that motivation come from, and how did that feel? How does that feel like?
So I'll answer the second question first. How does that feel like? Like, I'm proud of myself. That feels very like, how do you call it? A bird flying, or whatever you say.
Probably you gave wings to your dreams. I would like to put it that way. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
The second part is, I mean, that's the answer to the second part. Right now, I feel like, yes, I did on my own. I accomplished something. I feel I'm proud of myself.
Yes.
So, I'm sorry, but the first question.
No, I was just saying, like you had, like what you had back in Nepal already looks like somebody's dream and destination. Somebody would, dream of being there, and you were already there and left that. So how did that inspiration and motivation come from?
So the motivation comes from, as I said, something inside me that was like, okay, I love living in this country. I love being with my families, but I need something. I need reinvention in myself. I need something that would challenge me in a way that I can grow myself more. So I think that's the need for personal transformation that leads me here.
Thank you so much, Pushpa. While we'll continue this inspiring conversation with Pushpa Latimachu here, who is a student, immigrant, and is also undergoing PSW course in a renowned college in GTA, we will take a short break in this episode of Unfold.
अगर आपको दुबई या मिडल ईस्ट नुमा जेवरात की तलाश है, तो आपको दूर जाने की बिल्कुल जरूरत नहीं। आज ही हमारे मिसिसागा रिजवे स्टोर तशरीफ लाइए, अल करम ज्वेलर्स। हमारे पास सोने के बेहतरीन कंगन, कड़े, झुमके, हार और सोने के सेट्स भी दस्तयाब हैं। शादी हो या मेहंदी या कोई भी फंक्शन, आपकी पसंद के तमाम जेवरात आपको हमारे स्टोर में मौजूद मिलेंगे। आज ही हमारे स्टोर पर तशरीफ लाइए, अल करम ज्वेलर्स, 3465 प्लैटिनम ड्राइव, यूनिट 99, मिसिसागा, या फिर कॉल करें 905-828-0009। अल करम ज्वेलर्स, फरमाइश आपकी, गारंटी हमारी।
after this short commercial break. Welcome back to this episode of Unfold, where every voice has a layer and every layer is a revelation of something big, something new, and something that brings change. Today in our studio, we have Ms. Pushpa Lachimasiu, who is a student and immigrant and also has embraced a lot of other challenging roles in her life here in Canada. So, Pushpa, like I said very briefly in your introduction, right? You didn't just stop with being a student and taking up your course and doing your, job. You also embraced the something little challenging and something probably new. You participated in Miss Nepal Canada 2025. You also bagged the subtitle of Queen of Elegance. How was that journey, and why did a student, like an immigrant student, you probably are just a little over a 1 year old here, right? So when you enrolled yourself in the pageant, you were just a few months old here in Canada. So how did that student who was still struggling through life and navigating all of that had this dream of getting into pageantry? How did that happen?
So I'll give the credit to the fate and the coincidence of meeting few people who really want to uplift the women in the society, the team of Westo. And I cannot thank you more for actually giving the opportunity and seeing in me that I really can do that. So the coincidence of that factor, and also a coincidence of what I said earlier, let's just do it. If you want to change in your life, you have to do something you had not done before.
Oh, I love that.
So
yes,
that's actually the major point that lead me to participating in Miss Nepal Canada 2025, and it's been like really very good experience. Actually, the few months of journey has taught me lots and lots of things. I got to experience the things that I had not actually experienced before. So yeah, that was how it went.
Just to fill our viewers with a little bit of extra information here, Miss Nepal Canada 2025 was organized by Nepalese Canadian Pageant Inc. in association with Westo Women Employment and Skill Development Organization. And I happen to be the pageant director for Nepalese Canadian Pageant Inc. And hence Pushpa was showing her gratitude and saying that she wanted to thank me also for inspiring her to join this journey. I am completely humbled because of that, and I think I completely know today why I saw that spark in you the day I did, because you are full of inspiration, and I think everybody out there should be able to see this side of you. And even I always believe that even if one person goes back home looking at us and feeling inspired and taking a step or a decision in their life which takes them towards something good, I think it's done.
Yeah.
So you did mention that the pageant journey taught you a lot. So are there any tangible things or some nuggets that you took home from the pageant journey which you think would not have happened otherwise?
I don't know if it would have happened or not happened otherwise, but what I have learned is like self-belief. I would consider it tangible. It is tangible, right?
So, absolutely.
So I would say self-belief, self-assurance. Like you have, for me myself, I always felt like, okay, I can do this or I can do that, but for something like insecure, like need somebody's validation, reassurances, somebody telling, okay, that's good, then I would go forward. So through this journey, I had my mindset like no matter who says what, I'm going to do what I believe in, and I believe in myself. So that was the important, and I would say something that will carry on with my life and has informed who I am today. So that's
wow. That's I think I spoke a lot about how there has been a shift in the pageantry industry and the lens with which we look at pageants, very, very narrow. We spoke a lot about that in our first series, Limelight, of It's Your Show. So, I mean, this is commendable for you to be able to say that I acquired this life skill and probably will be with you through your life.
Yes.
I think I see one life change here already. So, did Pushpa as an immigrant, or say even as a person, discover some sides of yourself that you didn't know existed after coming to Canada?
Um, Something I have not known. I'm not aware about that, but something I think I want to change in me is assertiveness. Like I want that quality to be developed in coming days, to be assertive in any situation, to handle the situation in very assertive way. So that's what I want.
Do you see that side of you developing,
Yes,
or are you intentionally working on it?
Yes, I'm trying my best on that. I'm trying, even in the small things, I'm putting my intention on it to put, like, include the word assertiveness in it and bring the change in me. Yeah.
That's amazing. I think whenever we want to bring some change in ourselves, being intentional about it is very important. So you're from Nepal, and you have, like you said, you have left the comfort of your home and come. I'm sure you miss a lot of things about Nepal. But if you have to say one thing, what do you miss the most about Nepal?
My family. Like, for sure, like my family, I love them. I used to love them. I still love them. But after coming to Canada, I just felt like, okay, so your parents, your family are the one who are gonna be there, no matter what. You are right.
Always going to have your back.
Yeah, always going to have your back. And the kind of confidence you felt when you were back home, why? Because of your
Yes,
family.
yes.
That's what I like felt. So I just miss them a lot. Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. I think that's something common in a lot of immigrants.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So let's move a little bit to a quick question. Like we can even call it rapid fire, right? So let's do a quick. Now that you're in Canada and we have long winters here,
Yeah.
are you a snow girl or a sunshine girl?
Always a sunshine girl, even in Nepal. I never liked winter though.
Okay. And one Nepali comfort food that you crave here?
दाल भात तरकारी घरमा बनेको.
Okay, so that's homemade, lentil rice and vegetables. So that's a staple food in Nepal. We
Yeah.
call it dal bhat and tarkari, and especially one that's cooked by your
Mother.
mom, right? So how often do you cook dal bhat tarkari here?
I didn't used to, but here, yeah,
You do? You do?
yeah,
You try?
I try my best. I think 80% of time I make sure I make that.
Okay, I think that whole cooking that and that aroma probably gives you a comfort at home also,
Yes,
right? Sometimes, yes.
And that also kind of give me confidence that yeah, I can cook for my.
That's great. That's one life skill, another life skill that you have
life
learned.
skill.
Your immigration journey, if you have to describe in one word, what would that be? You could even use a couple, like if you have to make a sentence, but yeah.
I'll say challenge and opportunity working together. Those two words are a good fit for whatever I have
journey.
faced here.
Okay, that's amazing. I'm sure you did a lot of research before coming to Canada about Canada, and you also heard from your peers or friends or whoever you knew. But still, after coming here, something that was a cultural shock. What was the biggest?
Oh, I had heard about people being not so touchy with each other, and touchy in a sense, not even in a personal space. They will be in social distance. I knew that, but coming here and facing that, it was like a whole culture shock. Yeah, different thing and culture shock for me. Like people would doesn't matter who you are, however you are, they just love standing 4 feet away from you, at an arm's length, and that's kind of a good thing too, I guess.
I think it's just different perspective, different culture.
Yes.
So what Pushpa is trying to say here is, back home in our culture, once you know somebody, once you let them in your personal boundary, just going and giving a hug, comforting them, or even if you like something, you go and give a hug,
and you don't even mind slapping them and those things.
Yes. So, and if you see somebody down, you go and give a hug. It's very common and natural there. But like Pushpa mentioned, even giving a personal space has its own positive side to it. I think it's just different culture. There's no right or wrong to it. It's just different culture. So that was a cultural shock for you. Okay, that's a very good one. I'm so sorry. So now Pushpa today, when she looks back at Pushpa who is applying for immigration, if she could look back and tell one thing to her, what would that be?
So if I look back, and one thing that I would say is, whatever you have been thinking, why, whatever the reason you made the decision to go to Canada, You're right.
Everything's gonna be right at the end, right?
Everything's gonna be good.
That's amazing. So you were born in Bhaktapur, right, in Nepal.
Historical city.
Yes, it's a historical
Rich
city.
in arts.
It is one of the
Okay.
World Heritage sites,
Sites.
UNESCO site. Do you want to tell our viewers a little bit about it? And because there is so much difference between how Bhaktapur is and how Canada is, right? So when you're going to tell about that, it's also going to give us a perspective of your journey in short.
So Bhaktapur is, as I said, historical city. So that is full of arts and culture. In every, the home you go, every people you meet, every historical places you go, they carry something like from the culture. They carry some significance in them. I would say Bhaktapur is something that's like a living museum.
You very rightly put it, yes. Bhaktapur is like a living museum. The whole city is like a museum there, right? Every corner you go to has a piece of very, very heritage art.
Yeah, and
very rightly said.
And the place where I was born, that was Dattatreya, and that's also a part of the Davar Square, which is listed in UNESCO's. So from there to there's a place called Siddha Pokhari. The whole place is like, as I said, wherever you go, you can see the scriptures, the temples, the
carvings,
carvings.
Right? Yes. Thank you so much, Pushpa. Thank you so much, viewers, for being with us. And I would like to thank Pushpa for letting us an insight into her immigration journey and letting us know that immigration is not just about studying or moving into a new country. It's a whole lot of transformation. It's finding a new home. It's uprooting yourself from your comfort and stepping into something that can look and feel very, very uncertain. So this was our attempt to put a little bit focus on an immigrant's journey from the eye of a new immigrant. Hope this helped you, and hope this also inspires a lot of new immigrants and people who are planning to immigrate to Canada, that the journey can be challenging, but it is also filled with a lot of opportunities. Thank you so much. We will again bring back the episode of Unfold in your show. It's your show because every guest has a voice and every viewer finds their stories in this show. Thank you so much.